Shalom, shalom, all praise to the Most High. I just want to respond to this dude. Repent and believe in Jesus Christ. Of course you're allowed to ask questions. You look like a scoffer. You got white Jesus has a picture, which is crazy. But it's all good. We're going to start here in just a moment. Shalom. Hold on real quick. Salakia. We're going to start in just a moment. Yeah, we already got a scoffer in the crib. It's all good, though. But yeah, give me 1 second. What's wrong with this guy? I mean, Dominicans and Mexicans. Bro, he didn't even ask anything. He's retarded. Just like that picture on this page. What the hell? Salakia, we're going to start now. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Another late night love session. I think I'm on the right number. Hold on, let me double check. I put number 10, but I just need to make sure real quick. It might be on number 11. Okay, I am on number 10. I'm good. Salakia. As you can see by the title, don't be a sluggard. You know, we always talk about doing the work of the Lord. The work is also being, keeping the laws of God. That's a work. Having faith is a work. And those things are action words, verbs, as you call them, And as well as read the New Testament, if you ask a Christian, you'd be like, okay, faith alone, grace alone, like that doesn't make any sense. But in Revelation, the final book of the Bible, who the Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, clearly states, these are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith. Keeping the commandments is an active action word, a verb, present tense, doing something, moving forward in a positive fashion, which is the Israelites, commandments and laws that need to be kept. And that's why we're in the state we're in right now, for falling away from those very sad works that we're supposed to be doing, generation upon generation. And there's a reason, like I said, we're, laboring, whether it's doing a regular job or, like I said, in this walk, keeping the commandments day in and day out, like I said, to the best of our ability in captivity. So let's just start bringing out the Bible, because that's what we all believe in here through the Spirit. I don't know about repent and believe Jesus Christ. He doesn't even ask the right question. He's retarded. But anyways, let's go to my blue letter. 1 second. These aren't all the verses I have, but let's just start here from the very beginning. And then I'll answer questions at the end, as I always do, Lord willing. See, I got some Sirach verses, but they don't have Sirach in this on blue letter. So I'm just going to read from the other screen first, and then I'll go back and forth. So the first verse is not on there. Sirach 22:1. I actually went into the GNT. Give me 1 second. Sirach 22:1 and 2 in the GNT. Actually, let me read it in the regular version first, because it reads differently in GNT. Verse 1, a slothful man is compared to a filthy stone, and everyone will hiss him out to his disgrace. Basically looking at him like, man, like this dude's just sitting there twiddling his thumbs, as your parents used to say, sitting on his hands, not doing nothing. Like I said, there's a lot of people that do that in this day and age. Couch surfing, whether it's, on a woman's couch, your parents' couch, grandparents' couch, whatever the case may be, no ambition, no particular goals. They're comfortable not being responsible for themselves or anybody else per se. So everybody's gonna look at him like, man, this dude's getting older and older, sitting on his mom's couch or his grandparents' couch, or letting his girl or his wife take care of him. There's obviously hardships coming along in every relationship or every case may be, if that is the arrangement, but you're just not looking forward to do anything. Like, you're just eating up the food and, not, contributing to the household, whether it's your parents, grandma, or your wife or whatnot. That's ridiculous, especially if you got kids. Like, grown men shouldn't be at home taking care of his kids unless there's an arrangement set up, based off of that situation, because obviously daycare does cost a grip. So I understand that aspect. So it might be easier, but just overall, based on the labor, or excuse me, the captivity we're in, the man and the woman are bound to be working to survive in this place, And let's just slice it, start here. I'm gonna read it again. A slothful man is compared to a filthy stone, and everyone will hiss him out to his disgrace. A slothful man is compared to the filth of a dunghill. So he basically be compared to poop, shit as they call it. Every man that takes it up will shake his hand. It's plain and simple, man. They're gonna be disgraceful. He's gonna look at him like, man, this dude's he's beneath the dirt. He's beneath poop. You feel me? But let's read it in GNT. It says, lazy people are Slack 22:1 and 2. Lazy people are no better than dung. They are repulsive, and no one wants to get near them. Period. I don't want to say people are bums, but at the same time, you go outside and see a homeless person, they're distraught looking. They look, repulsive in a sense. They're dirty as hell. They smell. They might be on drugs, bugged out of their damn mind. And eventually, like I said, if you're in somebody's house with that particular, status quo as far as not doing much, especially in this walk when you're supposed to be in the truth per se, it's like, damn, like, I can't even respect you no more. You lose respect for that type of person. So we're put on this earth at this particular time due to the quote unquote original sin, as they call it, from Adam till now. Everybody was cursed to do labor. But let's just read here out of Genesis 3. Genesis 3:19, which is a verse that's going to springboard into all the other, verses and things like that, and what I want to go into based on the title, like I said. Let's just read here. In the sweat of thy face shall thou eat bread. What is that talking about? That means you got to work for what you eat. If you go fishing, you going to, go up there at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 in the morning, lay your lines, baits, whatever the case may be. I've never gone fishing before. I want to, but just making a parable or analogy, you basically got to sit there and labor for hours and hours and hopefully catch some fish. It's not, rocket science, but at the same time, it's still something you got to work at, and, it's hard because some people, like I said, sit there 5-6 hours, catch 3-4 fishes, which, that can be a win for somebody's book. But let's just imagine if you got 8, 9, 10 mouths to feed with 2-3 fishes, that might not go a long way. You got to go back the next day, make sure you provide for your family and whatnot. But like I said, just imagine a person or a man that's not doing that. Men are naturally stronger than women, obviously. We're the ones that are meant to go out to wars and, lift heavy things and, be the protectors, providers, things like that. The woman's a natural nurturer, caring, soft-spoken, as far as Proverbs 31 says, it says she can work with her hands as well. But in all actuality, she's supposed to be taking care of the kids first and foremost, while the man provides everything for her to take care of the kids. But like I said, overall, men and women in this captivity are working together, and that's how it should be, unless obviously, like I said, there's an arrangement, whether it's the man staying at home and the wife has a proper job to support them, and like I said, that can save on daycare, or the man working a job and the wife, staying home and doing that type of stuff. But overall, Genesis 3, I'm going to read it again. I didn't read it fully, Salakia. In the sweat of thy face shall thou eat bread. You're going to work hard to get your bread. You're going to labor for it. You're not going to get it for free. Till thou return to the ground, till you pass away again. For out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. You're going to die working. That's what it's talking about. Some people get lucky, get some type of, born into a rich family, whatnot. Don't really got to work too much. They get an inheritance. Somebody passes away, get some insurance money for a policy, things like that. That happens a lot. And like I said, this is another sidebar. Blacks and Hispanics should definitely invest in insurance, health, life insurance, because our life hangs in doubt, as it says in the Bible. So if we pass away, our family is going to be set for a certain amount of years based off that life insurance claim, because they can get an easy $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 if somebody passes away. It's a tragedy, but at the same time, the financial burden, is still going to be in the hands of that claim, like I said, so they can still, maintain and not necessarily struggle because of that man or woman being gone in their household and losing that income, So let's go. I just want to make sure I'm on the right track because I don't have all the verses on Blue Letter. Okay, I'm over here. Luke 14 and 28 to 30. This is another aspect of laboring that we got to be aware of. Preparing properly. As I say, the triple P's or quadruple P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. That's 5 P's. So I get proper preparation prevents poor performance, And that's what we got to prepare for, like I said. And the next verse is going to explain it, but I'm going to go into this verse. And then the next verse is going to kind of like elaborate on the concept of this particular verse that Yahushua spoke. Luke 14 and 28. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and count the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it, lest haply after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. That's a parable to this work as well. Your lifestyle, you growing in the spirit, you building on top of a proper foundation with the proper thought process, knowing the goal at hand, knowing the finish line or the race that you got to race to get to the finish line, knowing the crown you're aiming for. All those things are, mentioned in the Bible. So if you go forward in this walk, think you don't have to do the work as far as waking up the elected 1/3, as far as the man's jobs per se, because we're the ones out in the street corners, things like that. Everybody's not on the streets, but the men that are in the streets, we got to count the cost and be like, hey, I got to go out here no matter how I feel, no matter what's going on in my life, whether they have a job or not, whether they got a girl or not, whether they got kids or not. One day of the week for 3-4 hours a day isn't that much, honestly. You've wasted a lot more hours on video games and, working for the white man than doing the Lord's work in your lifetime before coming to the truth, guaranteed. Even as a kid, just playing around, recess, all that type of stuff. You've had plenty of time to play. But now it's time to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel, period. Man and woman. Mostly, like I said, the men, because we're the ones, or if you are in the camp or in a camp setting, we're the ones on the street corners waking up the lost sheep free of charge. And that's what we got to count the cost as, because let's just say some people come to the truth. It happens a lot. People join camps, get turned off by certain things, then stop doing the work entirely. That's not counting the cost, because it's not an emotional thing. You're supposed to be doing the work of the Lord for the Lord, and because you love your people. Like, that just means you don't love your people enough. You might not, like I said, you might have a fallout with somebody in the congregation. I've heard stories of plenty of different camps that have that particular issue. But are you still going to not do what the Most High's Son said? Go into the highways and byways and bid your people to the marriage? You didn't count the cost. Why wouldn't you want to do what pleases the Lord by keeping the laws of God, having faith in the Lord called Christ, along with joining other people to the body and having your own people repent for their sins and encourage them to endure that particular lifestyle? That's what it's talking about. Let me read this again, actually. For which of you intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and count up the cost. Counting the cost is not an emotional thing. It's a plan. It's a vision. It's a thought process, like I said. And obviously the Spirit of the Most High got to have you endure that particular plan as well, because the Most High takes the Spirit from you. That's a whole different ball game, because the Most High might have you go back in the world and destroy you. But this is for people that's still in the truth, that know the knowledge, that know the truth. That keep the laws of God. We're the ones that got to be on the forefront, counting the cost, knowing that what we're doing it for. It's a spiritual battle. And like I said, your mind is a terrible thing to waste. And like I said, if you don't think, it's a big deal, they can just walk away and not do the work no more. Most High might look at you, like I said in 2 Peter, a dog returned to his vomit. Who wants to do that? Who wants to be seen in that light in the last days? And as it says in I think it's in Hebrews, you tasted the goodness of the Most High, and who the world calls Christ, Yahushua, and you turn back to the world. Like, that's ridiculous. That's one of the worst things you can do. But let's read this, continuing, the same verse. Whether he has sufficient to finish it. You got to have the spirit to finish it. The Most High is obviously the author of everything. But the people that still living in truth, that want to go on Facebook and Instagram and just post all day and go on live videos, that's fine. But the real work is done in the streets, people that don't know no better. Ain't no random person that's going to stumble upon your video and just run into the truth 10 toes down. Like, that's not how it works. That's never going to be how it works. People meet people in the streets, and then they research. I mean, Sluggard. People do come across videos. That's how I came to the truth. I didn't see nobody on the streets physically, but like I said, that is a more interactive a way of approaching people. And obviously, you can reach a lot more people that way, because more than likely, hundreds of more people are going to be walking by that camp in that few hours they're there than anybody that's going to see your channel in one day. So as far as people that don't know, this is my main objective. People that do know are going to look for videos all day long. Different teachers, different, precepts they might like, all that type of stuff. But you don't want people to be like this and look at you and mock you like, man, this dude started in the truth and he fell out. Like, damn, what happened to Buddy? We say it all the time, like, damn, he left the camp. Oh, he's not doing the work no more. Like, it's crazy. But what can we say? We up. My spirit ain't gonna change. This work ain't gonna change on my end. I'm gonna keep doing it. Exactly. Good job. Went to the camp. It was only me and Hazard. Asked us a lot of these questions, and we answered the questions. Now look, he's in the camp. Powerful young brother, man. Powerful young Nazarite is correct, brother. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to fold in this thing, And like I said, let me finish this slot. Let's happily, after he had laid the foundation, is not able to finish, all that behold it, all that people that's looking at this brother that's in the truth, or assisting in the truth, by the way, because they fall out as well. Not to say it's easier, but it's, like I said, it's more an emotional thing, but still, the Most High pushed him out, part of his plan in their life. But like I said, it's still a sad thing to see from our point of view. It's like all that behold it began to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. And guess what else you're not going to be able to finish? You're not going to be able to endure to the end. If you can't endure right now, continuing to walk, keeping the laws, what's going to happen when the real martial law and, race war starts kicking off? What you going to do then? You going to call on the Lord now? Oh, man, the prophecies were in this book that were real. You didn't count the cost. You didn't count that cost, especially. The real judgment, the real Jacob trouble, because that's what's coming next, It's all fine and dandy now until the market crash, till the famine start really showing its ugly head, because that's what's happening in the midst of this whole thing right now at the end of this year. All them boats off the coast of L.A. and all around the world. There's a map I seen. It's all around the world pretty much. All these ships not able to dock and deliver goods to people. It's a global agenda, but at the same time, like I said, it's happening because the Most High is going to allow it to happen. So at the same time, that's another cost you got to count. Where are you going to be when all that starts happening? You can't run back to the Most High. Then it's too late, unless He has mercy on you. Like I said, you might be on some join somebody else's family or somebody that's willing to help you and sustain you during that time frame. But it's going to be very rare. But anyways, let's keep reading. Luke 9:62. And Yahushua said unto him, no man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom. That's pretty self-explanatory. You join this truth, you lose friends, you lose family, you might lose, a lover, because, a lot of people come to the truth or one person in the relationship comes to the truth, the other is skeptical, the other doesn't like it, the other thinks you're bugged out. They might be deep in Christianity. And that might separate you. It might break your spirit. You might compromise in the wrong fashion. But guess what? The Most High is going to separate families too, and that's what it says in the Bible. That's the way Yahushua said. He's going to put 2 against 3, 3 against 2, mother against daughter, son against father. All that type of stuff. And that happens every week, every day. But that's part of the counting the cost as well. But like I said, that's why it says, or excuse me, that's why Yahushua put, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom. You can't look back at your family. You can't be Lot's wife. You can't be the one that's looking back, trying to escape the world, but at the end of the day, look for people in the world to be comfortable still. Because the Most High is going to make you uncomfortable. You put your spirit in that mode for a purpose to learn His truth. And obviously, if He's the one that's guiding you and you trust Him, and obviously you have faith, you got to know, hey, He's doing this all for a purpose. Me personally, like I said, I separated from my friends in the world and different circumstances. And I'm like, yeah, this ain't worth it. This is what I was looking for my whole life. Well, I'm going to worry about being buddy-buddy with people that I don't want to be like anymore, you know? So if you want to be fit for the kingdom, you got to walk in your purpose. Walk what the Most High has His plan for you. You might not know it now. You might not even know it when you get into the truth. But at the same time, losing people that aren't on the same wavelength and the same path as you with the same thought process isn't a bad thing. You can definitely teach them and love them still and, you know, visit them every now and then. But as far as doing what they do, that's not going to get you to the kingdom of heaven. Looking back at that, as far as the world's concerned, it's not a benefit. But you got to work towards what the Most High put you to work here for, which is His truth. And obviously working out your own salvation. Let's keep going. Can't wait to be in the camp, Shawasha. It's all good, man. Oh, you woke up at 3 and seen Deacon randomly? That's the spirit. That's crazy. Let's see here. Proverbs 6 and 6-11. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways. So if you count the cost, you got to look to the ant and be like, man, the ant, let's see what it says about the ant. Consider the ant's ways and be wise. Think about what the ant does. That's what it's talking about. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provided for meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest, how long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep and a little slumber and a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. What is that talking about? The ant is one of the smallest creatures on the planet. They have a whole colony of ants. They go out in the summer, work all summer. That's all they do. Build up their hut, build up their little, what is it called, ant hill. You know, work all summer to get food, gather the food in the harvest. The harvest is in the fall, which is this type of time, September, October, you know, maybe a little bit in November. But obviously when it gets cold, the ants can't be out and about like that. They're going to freeze to death. They don't have no body. They don't have no, what is it? Like thick skin to keep them warm. They're going to freeze to death in the winter, depending on where they're at. That's what it's talking about with us. There's a time to work and labor, and obviously there's a time to rest, but at the same time, it's better to do the work while it's comfortable, even though the Most High can definitely make you uncomfortable, have you out in the snow, minus 10 degree weather, things like that. I know those people that do the work in Detroit and Chicago and, you know, all the Midwest cities, you know, that are freezing cold in the winter, that snow everywhere, even in Philly, Detroit, or not Philly, Baltimore, all that type of stuff, New York. It's freezing cold out there sometimes, but brothers still do the work. You know why? Because the Most High says you got to be in season, out of season. But this is referencing your thought process. The ant is going to work regardless because he needs to eat and sustain his colony, which is probably thousands of ants strong. And that's how you got to be with your people, man. It's a lot. Matthew 19:29, and everyone that have forsaken house, their brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold. That's a fact, Kashab. That's what we got to think about. I don't have that written down, but I have some similar concepts in the precepts I got. But like I said, in reference to the ant, that's what it's talking about. It says, how long are you going to be asleep? How long are you going to be lazy? How long are you going to fold your hands? Like I said, that's why I said sitting on your hands. That's what it's referencing here. A little sleep and a little slumber, and folding the hands, so shall poverty come as one that travaileth. You're going to be pouring in the spirit and poor with physical things. food, water, things like that, clothing, in these last days. If you don't think like an ant, if you don't think that you got to put in the work now to have be prepared for what's coming later. Just like any business, just like any type of credit. If you take out a credit card, you're not going to have your credit, 700 immediately. You got to put in the work, buy here, pay off the balance, buy here, pay off the balance. Months and months later, your credit's going to keep going on up because you're trustworthy, and it's going to show to the credit bureau that, hey, this person can be trusted with more money because he's paying this bill on time, keep it on a certain amount, a certain percentage. Hey, let's give him a higher, what's it called? A higher debt ceiling or whatever it's called. That's how the Most High feels. It's like the parable with how I said with the talents. One had 1 talent, one had 5 talents, one had 10 talents. The one with 1 talent, he was just like a person that was a sluggard. Oh, I got one, but I'm not gonna do nothing with it. I got time. I'm just gonna bury it real quick, go to sleep, fold my hands. Most High, or excuse me, I was like, yeah, you didn't know what I was gonna do. I was testing you because the people with 5 and 10 talents, I'm gonna give them more. I'm gonna give them more things to get done and accomplished because they're worthy of getting more gifts and more things that's gonna help the kingdom. That one person that was lazy, that was a sluggard, he's gonna get thrown to the lake of fire. That's what it's talking about. You're not preparing. You're not thinking like an ant. You're not thinking that you got to work hard to get to the kingdom. In all actuality, it is hard work. Because like I said, when the end zone come, we have prophecies that we still have to look forward to. But where are you gonna be when those prophecies unfold? You might pass away before that. Most might take you off the planet, and you might still get thrown in the lake of fire after that judgment comes. So you got to put in the work now, have the faith now, believe in who the world calls Christ said now, by putting your best foot forward, counting the cost and not looking back because you're looking towards the kingdom. That, like I said, that race that you're running. Excuse me. Moving forward. More, actually it's from the same chapter. I just went above a little bit. Luke 6. Actually, no, a little bit. Was that Luke 6? Oh no, it's Luke. It's just the book of Luke. Luke 6:43. For a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit, neither doth a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Salakia. I skipped the verse. This one is Sirach. I need Sirach. Sirach 40 and 28. I'm gonna share the screen actually, just as I have it up. Oops. Sirach 40 and 28, right here on the screen. Let's read here. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for better it is to die than to beg. So guess what? If you're a sluggard and poverty comes upon you, what are you going to be doing? You're going to be asking for handouts. You're going to be couch surfing, as I said before. You might not have the luxury to, have your mom or your family members support you. Because like I said, they're going to look at you like you less than done. You're like, man, this dude's lazy. I can't even look at him no more. He's taking up space. He's not contributing to the household, like I said. And this is comparable to people not contributing to the kingdom of heaven, bringing in the lost sheep, like I said. So if you're living a beggar's life, you're not contributing anything. You're trying to feed your own belly, It says it's better for you to die than beg. That's crazy. That's why when you see bums and homeless people on the street, it's like, man, like, I don't even want to help you half the time because more than likely I know you're just doing whatever it takes to survive, which is probably abominable, doing drugs. You're not going to do much with if I give you $2, $3, $4, or $5. All you're going to do is get go to the dollar menu and try to get some drugs. I can't support that. That's why it says better for you to die than beg in the word. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life. It's not a life going, like I said, house to house, don't know when your next meal is going to come from. It says it's not to be counted for a life if you do that, depending on somebody else's labor and work. It's crazy. For he polluteth himself with other men's meat, but a wise man well nurtured will beware thereof. So guess what? You're polluting yourself with another man's meat because you didn't earn it. You feel ashamed at one point in time. Some people don't feel ashamed. Those people are natural moochers and, people that use people and manipulate people to get what they want. That happens a lot. But guess what? We don't want those people in our circle. Even though in Israel, we did have a community to where, the poor were less fortunate. We had put aside things in the temple for them to, get it says they can set themselves into a servitude for a certain amount of time to pay off debt and obviously get on their feet, which is positive. But it says this is for people that don't want to do that type of stuff, that want to be, going house to house and asking for handouts. Like I said, it says the life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life. It's not even a life. You have no control over everything. You're like a kid again, For he polluteth himself with other man's meat, but a wise man, well nurtured, will beware thereof. Meaning what? He's going to be like, man, this dude, he's not contributing. Like I said before, you're not putting forth your. You didn't count the cost, knowing that you were going to end up this way, and you're not planning to get out of it. So that person's going to be like, let me just tell him that he had a time frame to get out and maybe motivate him, light a fire up under him. You feel me? That's what people do. Hey, you got maybe 2 months to get yourself together, and you got to get up out of here. That's what happens. So if you're gonna be aware of that type of person, you got to put some pressure on him. Like, hey, hopefully he gets off his ass and he's not compared to shit no more. You feel me? That's pretty much how it works. Verse 30: begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, so they have no shame. Hey, ask for handouts. Oh, you got money? I got to get this and this. Like, man, get up out of here, man. Like that's what happens sometimes on the street, especially if it's a heathen. I'm not giving money to no heathen. Barely say other Israelites. It also says give to a godly man. Like I said, we're not in the land of Israel. We got to abide by certain laws in reference to helping people out, just so we got it. But if we do have it, like I said, it's not a problem. It might be on your spirit to help out Israelite people that are less fortunate. I do it sometimes, but like I said, every time I got to look at their character. Okay, what do you need? I'll buy you food if you need food. I'll buy you something to drink if you need something to drink. But don't just ask me for straight cash because I know you're going to do something with it. That's being aware of a person that's trying to live with their hand out, But it says, like I said, verse 30, begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless. He's shameless, so he's going to ask you for everything that you got every time he see you, everybody that he runs into. But in his belly there shall burn a fire. He's going to be starving. He's going to be hungry. That's why he's shameless. Like I said, he has no problem asking for handouts, but he has a problem working hard to get what he needs, to take it step by step, to be an ant and work hard for a long period of time so he can be comfortable later on in life. That's what the comparison is talking about. Let's see. He put some precepts. That 2 Thessalonians 3:10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should ye eat. Period. That's corresponding with the very first verse I read, Genesis 3:19, who said what? By the sweat of your brow shall you get bread. You're going to work to eat, man, period. You can't be a sluggard. It's a curse for us to be working day in and day out. But like I said, some people are more prosperous than others. Some people have better jobs, better careers. And that's what the Most High blessed them with, It's not a problem. But like I said, if you're less fortunate in a pit, in a quote unquote dunghill state, you can't be comfortable with that. You got to know what you're working hard for. Or you got to know what to do to work hard and have to be willing to work hard. Shalakia. So let's go to, we got another precept. Proverbs 13:4. The soul of the sluggard desireth and have nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. Period. That's a perfect precept as well. Why? Because the soul of the sluggard desires but have nothing. He's desiring everything. He's thinking about it, but he's not working towards it. He's not making a plan. He's not properly planning. So he has a poor performance then, which is the representation of his lifestyle. So whether that's, like I said, living on everybody else's couch, having handouts left and right, or being a bum on the street, either way, you're not gonna have anything. But if you're diligent, like I said, working hard, putting your head down, putting in the hard work, going from one job, getting promoted, getting better jobs throughout your lifestyle or lifetime, that's a good thing as well. It don't happen overnight. It might not happen in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, but eventually, like I said, Most High gonna bless you if that's in His will for you, And obviously, in His truth, being made fat is also what we're aiming for as well, which is obviously getting to the kingdom, being that first fruits, being the elected 1/3, Lord willing, like I said, by putting in the work that the Most High commanded us to do. Where we at? Let me share my screen again. Here we go. So let's go here. Luke 6:43. For a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit, neither doth the corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. For every tree is known by his own fruit. Period. It's making a comparison to what people are doing in their livelihood, whether it's good or wickedness, teaching people proper understanding, which is the truth of the Bible, or you just living the wicked worldly life, period. For of thorns men do not gather figs, nor of a bramble bush gather they grapes. So it's not going to give you good fruit if you're not working towards the right thing, period. That's what it's talking about. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaketh, period. So what's in your heart is going to manifest in your walk, is going to manifest in your talk, how you live your lifestyle, and obviously what you bring out of your life. And obviously there's people that sell drugs that have more than people that work regular jobs, but guess what? That's not going to lead you nowhere. It's going to lead you to death or in jail. But that's what's cool in our people's eyes. And that's another bullet point for people not counting the cost. Living a legitimate lifestyle instead of a worldly, illegal lifestyle in this captivity. But it says, so like out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaking. So you're gonna know who's good or who's evil, but what they talk about. If it's outside of the law, statutes, and commandments, which is not necessarily what everybody talks about in the truth every day, but that's the foundation. That's what we're striving for. That's what we're working for. That's what we put our hands to the plow for, doing this work to wake up the people of Israel scattered abroad. Salakia. The Eternal Tabernacle, Shalom. You can give yourself a Hebrew name. It's not a problem. He's got know the meaning, and if it fits your spirit, hey, go ahead and run with it. But verse 46, and why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? That's what people say all the time. Christianity is like, oh, I'm a follower of Christ, but guess what? You don't do what Christ says, because He said keep the commandments. Man should not live by bread alone, but by every word perceived out of the mouth of Yahweh. Everything that perceived out of the mouth of Yahweh is in the Old Testament and out of Christ's mouth. But guess what? They were into Paul, who's their real Lord and Savior, and try to disannul what everything Christ said. It doesn't make any sense. When Paul spoke, what Christ said too, but he just had to learn understanding as he went along. And obviously the epistles show his growth and manifestation, obviously from Galatians all the way to Romans, Let's see. Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. He is like a man which buildeth the house and diggeth deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock, period. They counted the cost. They went to the right foreman, got the right materials, which is Yahushua, the right foundation, built the house upon a rock. Now they're not going to be moved. They're not going to be shaken by hardships. They're not going to be shaken by losing family members. They're not going to be shaken by losing a job or a loved one, losing a relationship with a quote unquote girlfriend. They're going to be like, okay, I counted the cost. Most I said, if I lose all these people, like Kashab just put in the chat, lose a house, mother, father, sister, brother, I'm going to get 1,000 times more in the kingdom, period. That's what it's talking about. It says the foundations, when you're on that right foundation, you're not going to move. You're going to be founded upon a rock. which is also Yahweh Shai, but it's also referencing you and your thought process and the spirit the Most High put on you to sustain whatever he throws at you. Because it also says gold is tried in the fire. So the fire is going to be that affliction, and it's going to be definitely, trials, things like that. And I got a verse for that as well. Actually, the next verse is going to elaborate on that. Sluggard. Let's see, verse 49. But he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that without a foundation built an house upon the earth, which is the ground, the soil, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. Ooh-wee. Yahweh was, putting it in parables for you. Not even a parable, it's like a similitude for you, saying that, hey, person that came to me, he went to the same store the other brother went to, but he bought cheaper materials. He wanted to be a cheapskate, They said him getting the stone, he just got some plywood, built it upon the plywood. The storm came, and it was like a landslide, you feel me, or a mudslide. The house just went down the hill, crushed it. And that's just referencing the future as well, because it's talking about people that's going to get judged for their works. So if you build the foundation upon the earth, which is sand and regular grass or whatnot, instead of a rock, which is a sure foundation, a solid rock that's not going to move easily. Listen, you're asking for trouble. You're asking to be destroyed. The ruin of that house was great, which I said. That great ruin is going to be you passing away in your sins and not trusting in what he said, period. Not counting the cost, as I said before. Let's keep going. Let me make sure I'm not skipping anything. Okay. Job 5 and 6 to 7. Do I got this pulled up? Oh, yeah, I do. Okay. Job 5, verse 6 and 7. Although affliction cometh not forth of the dust, neither doth trouble spring out of the ground, yet man is born unto trouble as the sparks fly upward. What is that talking about? Affliction cometh not forth of the dust, meaning what? Actually, let me read another version. It actually says something similar, but I just want to get it real quick. I read it a little bit ago. I'm gonna read it in the NLT, and I'm gonna get the GNT. Job 5 and 6 in the NLT. But evil does not spring from the soil, and trouble does not start from the earth. People are born for trouble as rarely as sparks fly up from the fire. Period. That means trouble can come out of nowhere. It's not just going to spring up from the dust where you can see it grow up and be, I can steer clear of it. That's what it's talking about. It's talking about, okay, if I'm not on my P's and Q's, if I'm not preparing properly, if I'm not counting the cost with what I'm trying to put in and labor for, or labor in the right fashion, in the right lane, as they call it, I'm destined for trouble either way. But depending on what route I take, if I have the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, knowing I'm going to go through certain things, I'm going to be built on that rock, and I'm not going to fold under that pressure and that affliction. That's why I put Job after this particular verse, because Job went through similar things. Some people say Job is a parallel of Israel, which can be, but overall, it's talking about him enduring the trouble that the Most High put him through, testing him, because Satan obviously visited him. He's like, hey, let me test Job real quick. Don't kill him, but let me just shake him up, rattle him, see if he's gonna curse you or whatnot. The Most High sustained Job for 40 chapters or so, put him through all hell. He lost his children, had to get his children killed. But guess what? At the end, he got blessed, had more children, things like that. But guess what? He still had trouble, because that's how we're born. That's what we're born into, per se. Being in affliction, being in captivity, we're going to be in trouble regardless, especially for being Black, Hispanic, Native American, and Israelite, being under the curses, generational curses. So let's go to the next verse. Salakia. Let me make sure. Psalms 104 and 23. Man goeth forth unto his work, and to his labor until the evening. Plain and simple. We got to work until the sun goes down for the most part, unless you work graveyard or something like that. But it's just saying we're going to labor and work until the end of the day. There's a time to work. Obviously, we have 24 hours in a day. Some people work 16-hour shifts. Some people work 10-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts. And that's what's promised upon us, like I said, based on the first verse I read. We got to work for our bread, work for what we eat, work for our clothes, work for, to sustain ourselves. All that's already promised. And to some people, like I said, that is affliction, that is trouble, having to work and stress out month after month to pay bills, cutting corners on certain bills, extending certain bills, things like that. All that's relevant because that's what we go through in a daily month-to-month basis as an Israelite, like I said. Let's keep moving. Slack. I'm going to skip a verse. Okay, yeah, let me go here. Sirach 7. Sirach 7 and 15. Sirach 7 and 15. Simple verse. Hate not laborer's work. Don't hate laborer's work. We got to work for our bread, right? That's what it said. We got to look at the ant and work for what we want. So in later, like I said, we obviously have savings and things like that. Sometimes we can, pay for what we need to pay for, splurge a little bit, enjoy ourselves, go on vacation, buy certain gifts for people we love. That's part of life. It says, but don't hate laborer's work. Don't hate working hard for what you need to get to. Like I said, it might not show up in the stat sheet like people say, but you boxing out, setting screens, like they say in basketball, all that stuff counts for things because other people can get, good looks and positive results. And that's what it's talking about. Being on the street corners might not look pretty. People might hate us for doing it, but guess what? In the spirit, people are, getting edified when we post it on YouTube, when people walk by. Like, there's a lot of people that hear us and are in earshot of us teaching every week and know what we do. There's a person that walked up last week. He's like, man, I see y'all here every week. It's an Edomite. I see y'all here every week. I just want to come here today and say something. I'm like, oh, people know where we're at every week. They hear us preaching, whether they agree or not. Sometimes they come up and ask questions. Sometimes they just stay on the outskirts and just watch from afar, whatever the case may be. That's fine, whatever. But we can't hate the work that we do. Whether it's, the work of the Lord, or working hard to sustain our livelihoods, in this captivity. But Salah, let me read it fully. Hate not laborer's work, neither a husbandry, which the Most High have ordained. The Most High ordained us to do all this. Like I said, being the catalyst for success, or just to maintain, like I said, our families, things like that. The Most High already said it from the beginning that we were going to be in slavery to work for our bread, to be able to take care of our households, separate from anybody that's not part of that, and then, like I said, count the cost and realize, okay, it's not the worst thing that can happen to me because the Most High got me on that narrow road to the kingdom, Lord willing, But let's keep going. Where am I at? Sirach 7. Okay, we're here now. Proverbs 23, 4-5. A slot. Labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. Meaning what? All you focus on is money, which is, kind of what the New Testament references. The love of money is the root of all evil. If you love money that much, all you do is see it and think about it, which is, like I said, it's not necessarily the biggest thing you can do wrong. But when you Black, Hispanic, Native American, the riches ain't going to help you in the long run. The Most High can have the white man cut off all type of assets, cut off your bank, cut off your quote unquote cryptocurrency and things like that. I seen a video of a black dude going to a bank like a few days ago. He had a lot of money. He said he wanted to withdraw $100,000 Guess what the bank said? Nope, no can do. But wait a minute, I thought it was his money. I thought he earned it. I thought he worked for it. So what does that mean? Like, you got all this money, but most I can make a way for you not even have access to it. Obviously, it's better to have cash on hand, but some people don't even accept cash. I gave a story a couple weeks ago on one of the late night love sessions that another person went to a bank to pay his rent, $1,200, had cash. The bank was like, "Nah, we don't accept cash. You got to go online and pay it through your checking and routing number through the online service." But he's like, "Why? Like, I'm here right now. I'm trying to make the payment." And he's like, "Nah, we can't do that either." You see what I'm saying? It's crazy how it works. They can do whatever they want because they run this country. We're the enemy, and we're the people that's subject to the rules. But it just says labor not to be rich. So laboring doesn't have to be to get all type of money. Like I said, you can labor in the spirit, like I said, how we're doing, and we're looking for riches in heaven. There's definitely positive things you can get from having money, but that shouldn't be the main focus in your whole lifestyle, your whole livelihood. Even though the Most High can still bless you in a certain way, but losing sight of that goal, which is the kingdom of heaven, is going to be something that you're going to wish you never do for seeking the riches of the world. Like I said, riches certainly make themselves wings and fly away as an eagle, because you're going to chase after so much. The Most High, like, yeah, you twiddling your thumbs. I'm not gonna give it to you. But I'm gonna read another verse that says, not necessarily contrary, but it's something that the Most High can bless you with if you are part of that person that He's having mercy on, things like that, or to make things easier for you, because you do have a good heart, and you're not going to waver if He does give you money. So what's the next verse? Let me see. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I added this as the last minute. Okay, Psalm 62 and 9 and 10. Taz, Shalom, brother. I'm from the tribe of Judah. Am I allowed to use a crucifix against evil in my home? A crucifix? What do you mean crucifix? You talking about a cross? Absolutely not. That is ridiculous. Anyways, I hope you mean something else, but that crucifix is not going to do nothing. You got to fast and pray, my brother. Not bring an idol in your house and then you're going to fight against spirits, or, somebody that's in your house that has a demon on them. You feel me? That's not going to work. Psalm 62 and 9 and 10. Surely men of low degree are vanity, meaning worthless, and men of high degree are a lie. Meaning what? People in high places lie, like politicians, CEOs, people in management, they lie to people that's lower than them because they don't have the access to the information. But that's not the main point of this verse. It says, and men of high degree are a lie to be laid in the balance. They are altogether lighter than vanity. They're nothing altogether. Low degree and high degree. Why? Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. So, like I said, Most High can give you riches. He can give you the rubies and the gold and the diamonds and the pearls and oil, whatever the case may be. Have your own company that's successful, making millions of dollars. But guess what? If you're not in the right spirit, that's why it says don't set your heart upon it. But the Most High can still bless you with it if you got the right spirit on you, to help other people. So it says, trust not in oppression and become not vain in robbery. Don't try to get ahead by doing negative things to do it. But if riches do increase, don't be comfortable with that. That's what it's referencing. All praises, Taz. All praise to the Most High. Knowing the truth, all praise. It's all good, man. Let's go into Matthew 6 and 19. This is a popular verse as well. Actually, did I skip something? Nope, not yet. I got Sirach next. Okay, Matthew 6 and 19 to 21. This is Yahushua speaking. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt. So don't get physical things and cars and houses and shoes and things that gadgets, things like that, because it's going to corrupt in the last days. Just like when you see all these zombie movies and things that like that where it shows like the world going to hell and there's no electronics, there's no real resources left. A lot of stuff ain't gonna mean nothing. You can't get gas for your fancy car. You can't get power to your big house. That ain't gonna mean nothing. But you gotta have the wisdom to sustain you. That's why it says in Isaiah 33:6, I believe, it says, "Wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy times, not the treasures that you got." Let me start it from the top again. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. So all that stuff you do have, you can get robbed for it. And then what? If you got the money, you can buy it again, or insurance for it, whatever. It can be replaced, but that's going to give you more a headache because people can get to you. People can actually take what you have, and that's a scary thought. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. Treasures in heaven is what? The kingdom of heaven, the work that you do, the final result. Like I said, work, doing what you're laboring for, or thinking about what you're laboring for. The kingdom riches, the riches of the kingdom of heaven, not having to work for nobody else, being rulers over the world at that time. It says, but lay up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. That references back to the other verse I was referencing about counting the cost, knowing, okay, I laid a foundation, but guess what? I do have the tools and materials to finish this foundation and build what I need to build, which is your own spiritual temple, and obviously building up other brothers' edification, in the truth, answering questions and leading by example, so they can go ahead and buy those same materials, like I said, because you built your foundation on a rock, and now you can show them how to do the same thing. But like I said, your treasure, so like I said, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. But if we lay our treasures in heaven and think upon those things, our heart and our mind is going to be there. Focus on that, and then, like I said, on the back end, like I said earlier, it says, what did I put? Where's it at? If riches increase, set down your heart upon them. Like I said, if your heart's on heaven, and Most High can still bless you with worldly things in the meantime, and obviously you can be a blessing to other people. And I got another precept on that. Actually, let me go there. This is Sirach again. Sirach 11 and 21. Actually, this ain't the precept yet, but I'm gonna still read it. There's another precept I'm waiting to kind of correspond with that. Okay. Oh, well, that's it. Sirach 11 and 21 to 27. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in Yahweh and abide in thy labor, period. You see people that's, bubbling off of evil things and, like I said, things of the world. Like I said, not everybody's doing worldly, sins, but like I said, they're prospering and not focusing on the kingdom of heaven. Like I said, and the Most High got them on that path for a purpose. Like I said, people in the world still help people as well. Like I said, it's not necessarily an issue, and God put them in that place to do certain things, but ultimately, if they're not doing the work of the Lord and following the laws of God, what's going to be the end for them? We already know. They're going to die in their sins and perish in the way, period. They don't foresee the evil that's coming. They might have the money to, buy certain things to sustain themselves a little bit more, but guess what? Ultimately, Most High can take that out at any given time. But let's keep reading Salakia. For it is easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich, period. That's all I'm saying. So if we lay up your treasure in heaven and think upon, heavenly things and focus on that, the Most High said it's easy for him to make a poor man rich. You can become a rich man in a week with the Most High. Everybody's into Sheba, everybody's into Sheba coin. Put $200-$300 in there, a week later, hey, you might have more money you ever thought of in your life. I seen a brother I follow on Instagram. He's like a financial guy in the crypto and the stocks, things like that. He's a millionaire, black dude, young black dude actually. And he put I think he said put like $2,500 in Sheba a month and a half ago. Now he's at like 30,000. If people had that type of money to invest in, obviously they get that end result. But if you're poor and you do what the Most High wants you to do, like I said, he can make you rich as well. So that's what that's referencing. But let's keep reading. The blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly. So if you're godly, whether you're poor or rich, the Most High is going to bless you and give you a reward, which is everlasting life. And certainly He maketh His blessing to flourish. That flourishment can be, like I said, new car, new house, new relationship, new job, anything like that. That can be a blessing to everybody. So like it. Say not, what profit is there of my service? Meaning what? That service can be comparable to what? Work. Meaning what? As well, is referenced in other scriptures I brought out earlier. Looking at the ant, he toils and works in the summer and reaps up his harvest in the winter or in the fall. So what profit is there of your service? Good. It's all good for that service that you worked out. Oh, for what? Like, man, I'm being mocked and scorned and called a future terrorist. Like, man, I'm not trying to do this no more. Don't say what profit it is of your service to the Lord and what good things shall I have thereafter. We should already know what the goal is. We're not looking for it immediately because we know it might not come in our lifetime, but we still going to do it because we believe in regeneration. We believe the dead in Christ going to rise first. We believe in all that. We believe some people are going to die in this truth for the faith. We're not thinking about, oh man, I'm just going to do this for a few weeks or a few months or a few years. And then if I don't get what I need out of it, I'm just going to go back to the world and, hustle and do what I was doing, because that's not going to do any good for you. And being a 2/3 in this particular climate, listen, all we can tell you is there's a missile coming to your head, man. Or you might go into a FEMA camp, get a chip in you, which is still damn near the same thing. You're going to experience that second death, and it's going to be a gruesome death. And that's not what we want for our people. But like I said, 2/3 will suffer that. And Lord willing, like I said, nobody that's in this faith falls out and goes into that on that course. But let's keep going. Again, say not, I have enough and possess many things, and what evil can come to me hereafter. That's what I was referencing earlier, just a few minutes ago. There's people in the world that have all type of money, blacks and Hispanics, don't necessarily have affliction upon them right now. They have the means to sustain themselves in a hardship. If things go south as far as, like I said, the food and, water thing that I was referencing, they have the money to buy certain things or, get things delivered to them. But Most High can be like, hey, what? I'm going to put evil upon you because I'm the Lord. I'm in control of everything. I gave this to you, but I'm going to take it away. I'm going to make sure it's not even possible for you to access it, like I referenced it in the bank, in that, brother. That's what happens, man. We can't trust in our money. Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. In the day of prosperity, there's forgetfulness of affliction. So yeah, you bubble up, you become 100,000 there, whatever the case may be. Move out of the hood, get a fancy car, whatever the case may be. You don't remember what's going on in the hood no more. That's what a lot of celebrities do, and people that get rich, they move away from the hood and forget about it, thinking they don't got to go through affliction no more. But all actuality, if you're black or Hispanic and you move in a higher class neighborhood, the white folks don't give a damn about you. What happened when like I said, that black woman that went to the all-white party with them housewives? She was the only one that ended up dead. Like, how does that work? You thought them white folks was your friends? Think again. In the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity, period. So you think you made it? You think you away from the negative aspect of life? But guess what? In the day of affliction, you're not going to remember that you got money. Like I said, I don't know if there's a verse in here, but let me see. Oh, yeah, it is in here. I know it's at. It's in Sirach too. Sirach 30 and 15. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. Period. If you got money and you're not in your right mind and you sick, got cancer, leukemia, these venereal diseases that aren't curable, the money can't do nothing for you. You can't even live your life happily no more. That's what the Most High can do for you or do to you. Salakia. Let's read this again. And in the day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity. You don't remember that you got a mansion. You don't remember that you got, multiple women that you can, call up and, do what you want to do to them. That's not going to help you. You might, try to max out and do it to, try to forget it for a few hours. But guess what? Your body going to give away. You're going to wither away, man, in that that affliction that the Most High put upon you, thinking that money's going to save you, man, period. That's why it says don't set your heart upon it. And money's the root of all evil sometimes, because you focus on the wrong thing, especially as an Israelite. So like, let me go back here. 26, for it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. Period. Your ways are what? The works, what you're working on, what you're working towards, what you were working on and working towards. Like I said, a good tree's gonna bring forth good fruit, and evil tree's gonna bring forth evil fruit. Period. Those are the ways you're gonna be rewarded to. What you did, what you were actually saying to people, teaching people to keep the law or not keep the law. That's what Yahweh said in Matthew 5. You're gonna be the least in the kingdom if you're an Israelite telling people not to do these things that Yahweh told us from the beginning to accomplish and perform. Let me see, Salakia. Let me go back. I'm at Sirach. Oh, okay, that was 26, verse 27. The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, period. Somebody might die in your family. You might be on a yacht vacation on an island. You get a phone call or email, hey, my mom passed away, my sister got killed, my baby drowned, or whatever, got kidnapped. All that stuff you got ain't gonna mean nothing. You're gonna be afflicted in your spirit and your mind. You can't even focus on anything and enjoy anything anymore. You'll be sick. And in his end, his deeds shall be discovered, period. That might be a judgment for not focusing on the Most High, period. Because why? The Most High wants you to focus on him as an Israelite, following the laws of God, having faith in that, knowing that if we do the will of the Most High and endure to the end and count the cost and make sure that we build upon a strong foundation, those are our deeds that can be discovered, whether you do that or the opposite, What do I think about stocking up on silver bars and 5 10-ounce bars and leaving that for your children for an inheritance? I don't think that's an issue, because that's definitely going to be worth a lot more than this paper cash in the end times. I was looking at that as well. So, I don't think that's an issue at all, honestly. Gold and silver are always going to be worth more than this green dead presidents, That should be your focus. Not necessarily, but like I said, I don't think it's an issue. Okay, that's it. Let me go actually to the previous chapter, because I got a verse here I want to touch on. Sirach 10 and 27. Is this on here still? Okay, yeah. Sirach 10 and 27. Better is he that laboreth and aboundeth in all things than he that boasteth himself and wanteth bread. Exactly. It's better for you to labor and aboundeth in all things. Let me read that in a different version. G&T. Sirach 10 and 27. Sirach 10 and 27 in G&T. It is better to work and have more than you need than to go around boasting but hungry. Listen, that's what pride goes before a fall, man. You can't be prideful boasting about stuff and talking big when you don't have nothing. And that's why it says don't live a beggar's life. It's better for you to be dead than to beg. That's crazy, man. And dying of hunger is probably one of the worst things you can die from. There's actually a documentary, I think it was a documentary that a brother, I don't know if it was a brother, but actually it was a white dude that did it, I think, where he was in the woods. They like filmed him like day by day. And it was like a progressive little film or whatever. And I guess he was, I think it was like 1 or 2 people that did it, that basically went without eating for like 10, 15, 20 days damn near, and see how his body would react to it. It was crazy. I don't know if I can find it, but I'm going to try to find that. Even stacking gold and silver, Haram, that's all good. Like I said, I was definitely looking into that like earlier this year or last year. So I just didn't know what to really look for or who to go to. So I'm like, it's definitely not an issue. Like I said, I can definitely commend you for that. Like I said, gold and silver is worth more anyway. And it's going to be worth more once, this system crashes and dollar crashes. So shalom to God. So like I said, it's not an issue in my eyes. So let me read that again. All right, so let me read in GNT again. So like it. It is better to work and have more than you need than to go around boasting but hungry. So you laboreth and aboundeth all things, have more than what you need. Because like I said, you laboring for a purpose. That's like I said, that's another ant parallel. The ant's laboring, not even looking up to have fun, because you know the winter's coming where he can't work, where he can't be out and about or he'll freeze to death. That's what's going on as far as our walk. You got to be able to work when you can work, when you're healthy, when you have 2 legs, a sound mind, a sound body, you know, have the wherewithal and the spirit on you when you're on fire to go out and teach, rain, sleet, or snow, you know. Then to be empty and not have a strong foundation and be half-assing it, you know, not even working, you know, on yourself per se, not have enough money to even feed yourself or having enough money to have your own place was not necessarily the end all be all, but you got to be working towards a lot of different things at the same time and obviously not be stagnant and be a sluggard, as they say, because you're going to be compared to doo-doo. You feel me? Let's see. That's all I have for that, I believe. Let me go back. Sirach. Okay, yeah. Now I'm back on track. Well, I got a couple more in the apocrypha. Let me see here. 1 second. Share my screen again. Okay. What do you say? Sirach 40 and 25. Gold and silver make the foot stand sure, but counsel is esteemed above them both. That's a powerful precept. Exactly. Gold and silver can definitely make you firm, you know, and sustain yourself, like I said, because that's obviously something that doesn't decrease in value, even though they kind of blend it with other metals per se, but you can definitely get all the impurities out like they usually do. Like I said, gold is tried in the fire. That's definitely the same thing. Money metals, I think I've heard of that before, but like I said, yeah, but counsel is seeing above them both. Like I said, counseling somebody can get them in the right mind state to do the work, to sustain themselves, to endure, and to get them out of the funk as far as, you know, being poor in a sense, because you can point them in the right direction, get them a job, you know, point them in the right direction to, you know, have sustainable housing, things like that. We've done that all the time on the streets. People that's less fortunate come to us, hey, let me, do you have any means of shelter? Like, okay, yeah, call this person, go here, go to this program. We do that all the time. I'm not even from, you know, the Bay per se, but there's brothers in the Bay that know what's going on, know who to point to and where to go. And obviously that's what we can do in our particular cities, you know, even though we don't have the means to, you know, give them money per se, but that's still helping your brother out. Crypto's fine, like I said, but like I said, that's kind of like a setup to the mark of the beast. But I'm invested in a few cryptos. I don't have a problem with it. But like I said, getting rich, like I said, is up to the Most High. It's not an issue. Obviously, we're in the truth. We're here to sustain ourselves in Babylon the Great. Having money is obviously the chief way to do it. But like I said, don't lose focus on the work at hand, which is following the laws and the commandments and sharing it with the lost sheep. So yeah, crypto, gold, silver, all that type of stuff is all fine and dandy, man. But obviously the Most High gonna bless you as he sees fit. So let's go here. James 5:10-11. Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of Yahweh, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience, period. The prophets suffered, were afflicted, and had patience. They were writing prophecies, crying and weeping and mourning over the people that was in captivity, you know, wondering when it's going to be over with, going through affliction with, like I said, with their people, even though they were righteous. That's what we're doing today. Like I said, we're a little more righteous than our fellow people that's in the world. Not saying we're perfect, but we know the best course of action to get out of our situation, which is being behind enemy lines. But like I said, we still got to, you know, suffer through our people suffering, whether it's, you know, watching them get killed, watching them go to jail, watching them be wrongfully convicted, watching them, you know, make wrong decisions to set themselves up for failure, to be killed and things like that. And it's all sad. It's all affliction still. It's weariness of the mind. Like I said, when you increase knowledge, you increase sorrows, like it says in Ecclesiastes. That's what comes with this, man. When you wake up to the truth, like, man, like, it's powerful. But then you're like, damn, it's going to be a lot of affliction, a lot of turmoil. All these prophecies are going to affect our people even worse, because we know it has to come to pass before it gets better, you know? Salak. Verse 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Exactly. We're happy because we're enduring at this time. It's not the worst of the worst time right now, but we're still enduring because we know, hey, if we don't fold, people that's watching us not going to fold, period. Because we got that strong foundation as is written before. We're not going to be washed away with that vehement wind or that water. You feel me? Ye have heard of the patience of Job and have seen the end of the Lord, that Yahweh is very pitiful and of tender mercy, period. Like I said, Most High can make a poor man rich in a day. He can get you out of afflictions. He can make you healthy, or he can do the exact opposite. So like I said, he can be merciful on people that he sees fit, make you rich, like I said, whether it's through crypto, gold, silver, all that type of stuff. Hey, if that's what you want, the Most High put on the spirit for you to go that route. It's fine and dandy. Like I said, the Most High can, flip the switch. Like I said, that's why it says, I just read it. Salakia. Where is it at? It was in Sirach 11. I think I just read Sirach 11, 20. Where is it at? 22. The blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing to flourish. Period. That's what it's talking about. So the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. Like I said, he can do all that stuff if you godly. If he sees you fit as godly. Even if you're not, he can have mercy on you. But like I said, as far as a prosperous aspect, blessings to flourish, that's towards the godly as is written. This is an apocrypha. Let me see. Stop sharing. What's your thoughts on selling homemade wine? Hey, listen, brother. Make your wine, sell it to the heathens. Get your money up, bro. That ain't a problem. Getting enough supplies the last couple months is going to be unsafe. We're not looking for supplies to purchase. The purge is close. Nah, the purge ain't close. I don't believe that. I don't believe that yet. I do believe in getting supplies, but I mean, stockpiling stuff, that's each his own. I don't see an issue, but like I said, none of that's happening right now. The purge I don't think the purge is close. I don't agree with that. There's still too much money on the table, and there's still too many stores with plenty of food, to go around and water. Trust me. That's not going to happen for a few more years, in my opinion. Just me speaking as a man, but stockpiling stuff, food, water, like I said, I don't necessarily see an issue with that, but that's just showing maybe a little lack of faith, even though, like I said, the Most High is going to make a way for anybody he sees fit, But let me go here. Baruch 4 and 25. Venezuela? Oh yeah, Venezuela is a precursor to America. Trust me. There's definitely stores I've seen with, what is this? Oh no, I didn't mean to go here. Salakia. There's definitely stores in America that I've seen, little clips of on Instagram and things like that, where they have like $22 gallon orange juices and things like that. It's madness. It's definitely showing its head, but on an actual nationwide scale, the hyperinflation in Venezuela is crazy. It's like 1,000% inflation, and they say you got to work a whole month just to get a loaf of bread type stuff. So yeah, America isn't on that level yet, but like I said, I think it's coming soon. Not necessarily in the next couple of years, but definitely they got a plan for like 2030 or something like that. So it's definitely setting up that way, and definitely people got to be prepared. But like I said, the Most High gonna make a way for his servants, as is written. So let me get back to here. Baruch 4 and 25 to 30. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from the Most High, For thine enemy have persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction. Period. All this the Most High set up for a white man to do, he's going to make it seem like he's empowered. The New World Order is coming to fruition. Got the chip going, got the one world religion going. Then the Most High is going to destroy him, period. He's going to send him missiles and it's going to be a wrap. In one fell swoop with a press of a button. And shall tread upon his neck. The Israelites going to tread upon his neck. The elect 1/3 going to be the first ones to get a crack at him, put him in chains, man. My delicate ones have gone rough ways, which is the Israelites. We've gone rough ways, working for our money, working for our money, working for food, working for clothing, shelter, water, all that type of stuff, to sustain ourselves. Those are rough ways, so we're not supposed to be doing that. We're supposed to be ruling in our own kingdom, sovereign. And we're taken away as a flock caught of the enemies. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. So we're going to be remembered of the Most High in these last days. Even though we're going through affliction, the Most High going to remember us because he already made a promise to Abraham back in Genesis that we're going to be the ones to be blessed, period. 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more, period. Like I said, when you leave the world for the Most High and the truth, and you count the cost, and you have the right mind state, and know this for the long haul and a marathon, and knowing your goals, and knowing, like I said, that what's going to happen if you do fall out, you got to seek the Most High 10 times more because you should have been dead a long time ago. Like I said, it's definitely a blessing knowing this wisdom, and you can't take it for granted. You don't want the Most High to take the spirit from you. All praise is task. Like I said, the whole book is like that almost. But like I said, definitely the prophecies and realizing who you are in those chapters. Let's keep reading though. Let's read 29. For he have brought these plagues upon you, for he that have brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation. So with this building upon the foundation of a rock, with this looking towards the ant and working like the ant, with us counting the cost, with us not setting our heart upon riches as a primary source of, thing that's going to sustain you, the Most High says he's going to bring us everlasting joy and salvation based on the affliction that he put us through. He's going to even it out. He's going to make it even better. But we got to put our mind on the right things, lay up our treasures in heaven, and make sure our mind is on that goal as well. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. The Most High gave us the name Jerusalem, which is the city, obviously, but it's a people for a place. He's going to comfort us. He's going to not have us going through affliction. He's going to not have us, working through the sweat of our brow no more eventually when we get back into our own kingdom. Let's go to one of the most popular verses as well. I'm going to go back to this slide here. Isaiah 14:1 through 3. So let me go here. I gotta go to Sirach in a second. Okay, cool. Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and will set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Plain and simple. Everybody that had the Israelites in slavery going to be subject to us in the kingdom of heaven. And then guess what? And it shall come to pass in the day that the Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. So we're going to be restful. We're not going to be worried. We're not going to be afflicted. We're not going to be ones, having to, like I said, be stressing over bills. He's going to give us rest from our sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. So that comfort that he referenced in Baruch, giving us that comfort from all the affliction and plagues that he gave us. He's going to have us have that peace of mind. He's going to have us, not looking over our shoulder, not having our women cheat on us, or kids get kidnapped, or choke on some food and pass away. Some simple as that, allergies. That's not gonna happen in the kingdom, man. We're gonna be at rest. We're gonna have other people serving us as the kings and princes that we are, that the Most High saw fit. But like I said, we got to endure to the end, endure the chastising, endure the affliction, have that mind built on the solid foundation, which is Yahushua, who's a standard. All that stuff plays a part, but it all comes with working hard, having that mind to work hard, and obviously stay in the spirit, because it's a marathon. Like I said, people that run marathons don't just train for one day of the week. They probably train 3-4 days a week for months on end to run one race. That's what we work for. And that's what the ants parables are similar to is about as well. The ant gonna work for months until the wintertime. The wintertime's 2-3 months sometimes. So he gonna work for 6-7 months to prepare for 2 or 3 months. That race that's gonna happen for 2 or 3 months where you can't really go outside no more. That's what we gotta look at it as. We're doing this work for how many years we're in it until, obviously the Most High calls our number, takes us home, as they say, put us to rest, or, has us prepared for that, like I said, the hyperinflation the brother put, the FEMA camps, whatever the case may be, the race wars, all that type of stuff. Not starving to death out there. All that type of stuff is part of, being prepared, knowing what's going to happen, knowing the market's going to crash, knowing, this white man got plans to, try to murder us at that time. Because like I said, when the purge does come, that's when they're going to try to, kick up dust and really come door to door and try to get at us, especially the Israelites. But they know people that's not going to comply to what they got going on. But, hey, the Most High, like I said, He's going to have mercy on. We have mercy on, Lord willing, like I said, we a part of that. Okay, I got the next one. So I think this might be the last verse. Sirach 38 and 24. Sirach 38:24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise. Meaning what? When you put in the work, when you have a time to study, when you travel, you see certain things, you learn from different people. You said when you have little business, meaning what? You're not occupied in other things that don't benefit you. You're gonna become wise because you're studying the right things. You got your mind focused on the right proper things. It's gonna give you the wisdom to be better, and like I said, have that prepared in this mind to know what to go, what to do, what to buy, things like that. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow, and that glorieth in the goad, that driveth oxen, and is occupied in the labors, and whose talk is of bullocks? How can you get wisdom when all you do is just, like I said, work in the field? That's what it's referencing. You're occupied in the labors, but the labors that you should be working on is, like I said, in the spirit, getting wisdom from the Most High, and obviously following the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why I was referencing earlier that people that's already rich and in the world that don't necessarily keep the laws, that's not going to sustain them in the long run. Like I said, you might be able to buy certain things now, but like I said, when they cut off the resources and not be able to have electronics and things like that, what's going to sustain you? The wisdom that you learned during that time, being prepared for the wilderness per se. Having I don't even put it out there because I said I have plans myself. Like the brother said, buying gold and silver is fine, but as far as the preparedness for being out, not in your home and not in regular circumstances. But anyways, he giveth his mind to make furrows and is diligent to give the kind fodder. The kind is like the animal, obviously. Let me see. This is Sirach. Never mind. 38. I'm going to go somewhere else. Sirach 38 and 26. He takes great pains to plow a straight furrow and will work far into the night to feed animals. That's what it's talking about. You're working so hard, you're not focused on the proper spiritual aspects of things, and you don't have the sight or the vision to see those things. That's what it's referencing. So every carpenter and workmaster that laboreth night and day, and they that cut and grave seals, and are diligent to make great variety, and give themselves a counterfeit imagery, and to watch finish a work, the smith also sitting by the anvil, and considering the ironwork, the vapor of the fire wasteth his flesh, and he fighteth with the heat of the furnace. The noise of the hammer and the anvil is ever in his ears, and his eyes look still upon the pattern of the thing that he maketh. He setteth his mind to finish his work, and watcheth to polish it perfectly. So it's making a comparison that when you focus on the work, obviously you're not being distracted by the heat, because hey, you got something to sustain yourself. Or what you're going to work on is going to sustain you at the end of that work. So it's like I said, when you working as a what is it, a weaponsmith or whatever the case may be, beating over the coal, you got to put the heat proof gloves on, the little mask on, work with the little iron tools. You got to fight with the fire that's going to burn you. But at the end of the day, you like, man, you still got your eye on the prize. You sweating more than you ever sweated before. You might be getting charred up, burned. But guess what? That work that you're working on, that's what the end result is. Like, you got to make a axe or a sword, a arrow, whatever the case may be. That hit ain't gonna bother you, because guess what? Whatever you finish working on, that's what's gonna be the tool that's gonna get you further in that particular work or particular strategy that you're looking to do. And obviously, when war comes about, if you don't have enough weapons, hey, what you gonna do? You're gonna lose. You're gonna be succumbing to whoever conquers you. Sluggard. Verse 29. So doeth the potter sitting at his work, and turning the wheel about with his feet, who is always carefully set at his work, and make up all his work by number. So meaning what? The potter, is obviously somebody that molds clay, whether it's a vase or, anything. A statue, you making their work by number, meaning you making things time after time again. He fashioneth the clay with his arm, and boweth down his strength before his feet. He applieth himself to lead it over, and he is diligent to make clean the furnace, period. So you have an end result in mind. That's what it's talking about. All these trust to their hands, and everyone is wise in his work. That's, like I said, I'm making this, reading this as a comparison to what we have to do. They trust in your hands, meaning what? You trust in what you have a gift in, and you're wise in your work because you're perfecting it. You're you're doing it over and over. And that's why it says, who is always carefully set at his work, and make up all his work by number. Meaning what? You're making this over and over and over again, perfecting it, refining it, having better ways to do it quicker and more efficient, saving clay, if you want to call it that. That's what it's talking about. You trust your hands, and everyone is wise in his work. You know how to do it faster and better and more efficient, and save money to make more money from it. And then let's see, Salaki, verse 32. Without these cannot a city be inhabited. Wow. Without people that work hard at the particular field of expertise, a city can't be inhabited. Same thing I could references in 1 Corinthians, I think the 12th chapter, when it talks about the body of Christ. In fact, let me get that. Actually. 1 Corinthians 12. I'm gonna get this in a second. Actually, I'm gonna read it in a second. I'm gonna go here first. Verse 32. Without these cannot a city be inhabited, and they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. Meaning what? If you don't have these particular people that have these skills, whether it's a smith or a person that works with clay, a potter, as it says, somebody that knows how to garden, somebody that knows how to, trade, make garments, all that type of stuff. If you don't have any of that, a city is not going to be sustaining itself. That's what it's talking about. So everybody that's in the body of Christ, I'm going to read it in a second, you got to have different skills and gifts that the Most High blesses you on. And obviously you work together with the rest of the people in that city to build it up and sustain it. Verse 33, they shall not be sought for in public conceal, nor sit high in the congregation. They shall not sit on the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment. They cannot declare justice and judgment, and they shall not be found where parables are spoken, but they will maintain the state of the world. Ooh-wee. And all the desire is in the work of their craft. Interesting. So it means what? Everybody's not built to be, everybody's not meant to be, like I said, a teacher on the streets, which is not necessarily a problem, even though we would say, okay, well, you better be doing something for the kingdom, at a high level and be recognized. But at the same time, that's what's making appearance to these people. Everybody's not a priest of God, that's able to teach the Bible. But guess what? They make garments. Like some sisters make garments for a living. Some people cook for a living. Some people, draw for a living, make graphics, things like that, all in Israel. Some people make music for a living. It's not necessarily a problem. As long as they're keeping the laws of God and teaching on the back end, hey, that's cool. But that's not their main focal point. Most High bless them in that field. But at the same time, that's what it's referencing. People that have the foundation in the law, like I said, the Most High might gift them with other things to give them the finances, things like that, to sustain their family. But at the end of the day, the bottom line, the foundation and the rock that we're building upon is the laws of God through, obviously, Yahushua as our quote unquote idol, as it says in Romans 8:29, our icon, Salakia. Not idol, but somebody gonna try to crucify him for that. Our icon, our person that we're looking towards as an example that didn't sin, what we're trying to be like in perfection. Salat. Let me read that last verse. But they will maintain the state of the world, and all their desire is in the work of their craft. So in this reference, I can make a comparison to what? The world of Israel. Everybody that builds up the nation of Israel has different gifts, things like that. And it's all going to be what? Without these, cannot a city be inhabited. Everybody got to do their work and put their brick in, as we call it, by their different gifts. Let me read this, what I had in mind, 1 Corinthians 12. And then I'll open it up for questions. I don't have no other verses after this. 1 Corinthians 12:12. For as the body is one and have many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Yahushua, or Hamashiach, Salakia. That's what it's talking about. We're all one body as a nation of Israel. We have many members, but we're all in unison, being under the laws of God, being as righteous as we can. For by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, the Holy Spirit, whether we be Jews or Gentiles. Obviously talking about Israelites that were scattered, because it's verse 10, it says, who Paul's addressing, who are Israelites wherever in the wilderness, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one Spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? Of course not. The hand and the foot have different uses. You can't grab a cup with your foot. You could, but you're not going to be able to put it to your mouth. You're not going to be able to drink from it. So you got to have a different use for your foot. And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, am I not of the body? Is it therefore not of the body? It's hypothetical. Of course it's not. Or excuse me, of course it is still part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling? But now have God set the members, every one of them, in the body as it had pleased them. Everybody has their own gifts, like I said before. And if they were all one member, where were the body? Exactly. If we all had, if we were just like, the hand of Adam's family, like he's just crawling around on the hand, communicating that way, like what else we gonna do? We can't do nothing. We can't see, we can't taste, we can't smell, we can't eat, we can't drink. It's just a hand crawling around. You feel me? That's just a comparison of what I'm reading right now. So like, where was that? But now are they many members, yet but one body. And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor again the head of the feet, or the head to the feet, I have no need of thee. I have no need of you. Nay, much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary. What's more feeble? Your eye. If it's somebody poking your eye, it's lights out. Somebody put a pressure point on your nose. Hey, you might cry yourself to sleep. You break your finger or your pinky toe, you might be out of commission for a while. You tear a ligament in any place in your body, you're gonna be hurting. You hurt your back, guess what? You out of commission. That's what it's talking about. So those are feeble parts, but they're all necessary. All functioning parts of the body need to be healthy, doing their job to sustain it. That's why I referenced earlier about the city. All these small things, people laboring in Smith and I said crops, things like that. All that's necessary to sustain the kingdom of heaven, and that's also comparable to what the Most High gift us as far as what we're doing today in this captivity, working towards the same goal, keeping the laws and teaching each other. But like I said, there's still people that can help you financially, help you with counseling, help you, get a job, with the right spirit. Like I said, can help people out because obviously the Most High set them up that way. So let's keep reading. So like whatever, man. Verse 23, and those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor, and our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness, period. If you lose a foot, guess what? Everything's going to be off balance. But guess what? A foot isn't necessarily looked at as an honorable piece of your body. Your face is, your eyes are, oh, you got beautiful eyes. His face is good looking. Guess what? That good looking person, comes into a bar in a wheelchair. You're like, you're gonna look at him different. That's just common sense. You can't lie about that. People gonna look at you different. You probably a model, but you in a wheelchair, or you a model missing a limb. Like, wait a minute. You got a model face, but you missing limbs. Like, that's gonna turn everything off for you. And that's just a natural sentiment. But as far as being an Israelite, we gotta help that person out still. And somebody still might be suitable for that person, because the Most High, wants everybody to be, not everybody, but most people to be, compatible with other people, have children, things like that. So, where's it at? For our comely parts have no need, but God have tempered the body together, having given more abundant honor to that part which lacked. That there should be no schism in the body, but that the members should have the same care for one another, period. No matter what they look like, no matter what they're going through, no matter what state of being they're in, we all got to care for each other because we're all Israelites. We're all under the same covenant, Sluggard. We all have the same goal in mind, getting out of captivity, being the rulers of the earth, period. Verse 26, and whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it, period. That's how it works. There's people that are rich, but black people still in the hood, selling drugs, killing each other, prostituting. Guess what? They don't give a damn, but guess what? As an Israelite, with that mindset, with the right foundation, we care about everybody. We care about our brothers and sisters in jail. We care about our brothers and sisters that's less fortunate. Right, so we might not have the means to it. We might not be able to help them at the given time. We might not help them when we do have the means, but at the same time, the end goal is still to teach them to get better, repent from what they're doing if they're doing wickedness, and we still have to care about them just the same. And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it, or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it, period. Now ye are body of Christ and members in particular. That's what it's referencing. I can keep going. Actually, there's only a few verses left, and I'll end it with this. And the Most High have set some in the church, first apostles, secondary prophets, thirdly teachers, and after that miracles, then gifts of healing, helps, governments, diversities of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles? Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret? Obviously not, because we all have different functioning parts. We're all different offices, as they call it. But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way. That's what Paul referenced about the body of Christ, that the Israelites scattered abroad in America at this particular time. Obviously, I'm referencing. Everybody's not a basketball player, are they? Everybody's not a musician. Everybody can't get rich that way. People can get rich through, like I said, buying crypto, like I said before. People can get rich through their own, garment business, things like that. Making staffs. Brother Haram makes staffs. He's in the chat. The soldiers in the camp make music, like I said. Are they at a high level? No, but they still get support. They love what they do. But the main objective, like I said, is to do the will of God, support each other, care for each other. Everybody has their own office, like I said, in this body, and we all gotta support it, and obviously see fit as it see fit as successful as it says. So, like I said, we gotta help each other out. But the gifts are up to the Most High. If the Most High wants to make you rich, that's perfectly fine. But our foundation got to be on the right things, and obviously doing the work and working to build this nation spiritually, then physically. Then obviously the Most High gonna see fit that we're the ones that's Lord willing be on the chariots. They're like the 1/3, you know. So we are done with the lesson. 2 hours exactly on the dot through the Spirit. It's all good. The brother said none of that is going to matter in the world to come. What you mean? What's not going to matter? Talking about music and all that stuff? But anyways, questions. Ask your questions. I'll give you all the first countdown of 3 minutes, and then we'll close out. If people ask questions within that time, we'll extend the time. What was my aha moment when I got into the truth? My aha moment was when the Most High had an angel save me from an accident. It wasn't even about the Bible at that time. It was like, man, like I literally, felt the angel save me from getting into a horrible accident. And that was kind of like the catalyst to me, waking up. Obviously, I didn't even know about the truth at that time, but I think shortly after that, I saw my first few videos, and I was like, "This is what the Most High saved me for me to learn this, and obviously to make my change in my lifestyle, and move towards that instead of being in the world." So that was the aha moment for it. It wasn't necessarily no verses or fringes or anything like that. It was just the spiritual, manifesting in the physical that saved me from a particular accident. Literally, like it was just crazy. So I was like, yeah, the Most High really is protecting me from this. And I was like, yeah, I gotta go here and not look back. So that was it. And you're in the bar serving Yahweh. All praises. Questions. I'll give you another 3 minutes or so. Contest. Like I said, it was definitely something that was great. Do you know who Carimio is on YouTube? No, sir. Am I supposed to know who that is? One minute left. Carimio Ahua. Who is that though? What does he teach? if he's not in the truth, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not even going to entertain that. He teaches where the lost tribes. Well, I might check him out, but like I said, if you're talking about some bugged out stuff I don't agree with, then yeah, I won't be tuning into that. All right. Any other questions? Khan, all praise to the Most High. Shalom, Taz. All right, 2 minutes, and that's it. No questions are being asked, but it's all good, you know. All right, no questions, no questions. It's all good though. 1 minute left, and I'll be out of here. Appreciate all the views, the support, the likes, the shares. It's all good, man. What do you mean? Are Israelites in Madagascar? I'm sure they are. It's right off the coast of Africa, so it's not hard to believe. Remnants, obviously. Um, the work of the hands you were reading about in Sirach. You want to know what I was reading? Um, I believe that was Sirach 11 and 21 to 27 somewhere, if I remember correctly. It's just Sirach 11. No, that's not it. Salakia. Sirach. Oh, Sirach 38. That was the last one I was reading about the all the people that was working with their hands. Yeah, Sirach 38. 24 to 34. No, Hanukkah's in the Maccabees. Hanukkah's a custom that we kept for sure. It's not in the law, but we can definitely keep it. It's not Jewish. It's something that the Maccabees started. It's a feast dedication. It's in Maccabees, first Maccabees, the fourth chapter, I believe. Let me see. First Maccabees 4 and I think it's 50. First Maccabees 4 and 50. For like 55, 56. I'll just get to the point. Verse 56. Verse 55. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven who had given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days and offered burnt offerings with gladness and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. So yeah, this is a piece of dedication in Maccabees, and Yahushua kept it as well in the New Testament. You know? That's in John 10 and 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the Feast of Dedication, and it was winter. So yeah, they kept that in the New Testament. Shalom, Dante. Who are the Anakim? What do you mean Anakim? I hope you're not talking about Anunnaki. If that's what you're referencing. Anakim, you gotta be more specific. Who are the Anakim? You need to elaborate, brother, because I don't know. Anunnaki? Well, if you believe in that, I'm sorry to tell you that's not real. But let's see something. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you where they get it from, actually, in the Bible. Numbers. Let's go here. Numbers 13, 22. Numbers 13 and 22. Numbers 13 and 22. Let's look at the Greek, or excuse me, the Hebrew. Verse 22. Anak. Let's see what Anak means in the Hebrew. Anak. Doesn't that sound like Anunnaki? That's where they get it from. Progenitor or family or tribe of the giant people in Canaan. Were they real giants? Were they 400-foot tall men? No. What were they? They about 8-9 feet tall. You know, that's probably what they were. Giants. But they weren't aliens, you know, giving us, you know, inky and these green tablets. Like, no. That's not it. The emerald tablets, is that what they say? Anunnaki don't exist, but they get it from the Bible. Anak. Try to say it's like fallen angels, which is another lie. No such thing as fallen angels. All the angels do the Most High will, good and evil, as you call it. You're welcome, Taz, man. It's all good, man. Exactly, like Goliath. Goliath was about 9 feet tall. Exactly, Dante. Tall Canaanites. That's all they were, and they was just taller than us. You look at a 7 foot person today, like, damn, that dude's a giant because everybody ain't that tall. Basketball players 6'8", 6'9", they ran over everybody. But back then, people was 8, 9 feet tall, really like 2, 3 feet taller than everybody. Like, damn, like these dudes is tall as hell. That's a giant. You feel me? You run across Shaquille O'Neal. He's only 7'1". He's what, 10 inches taller than me. He'd be a giant to me. I gotta look up at him like, damn, that dude's way taller than I expected. Imagine an 8 foot person, a 9 foot person. And they be raining over you like, man. That's what it's talking about. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. All right. You're welcome, Soul. Yeah. So with that, I'm gonna close out. Give up 5'9". Yeah, I'm 6'3". I'm tall, but I'm not that tall. My best friend's like 6'8", 6'9". Oh, go ahead, Eternal Tabernacle. What's your question? All praises, Dante. But yeah, Eternal Tabernacle. What's your question? What verse you looking for? We on 60th mission, 2 p.m. every Saturday. Anytime after 2 p.m. Well, he didn't want to ask his question or look for a verse. I'm not sure what verse he wanted, but with that, I'm gonna close out. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by the Shem Hamashiach Yahushai. Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. I answered all the questions. Still continuing this late night love sessions. I'm do it every week, every Thursday. Lord willing, I got a guest. Moving forward, so we can give you some different perspective. But all praise to the Most High either way. So with that, Shalom.